The echoing void. In a small, quiet town, an inexplicable event occurred one morning. People woke up to find their phones and all digital records of their lives, photos, messages, and even memories had vanished. It was as if everything stored on the cloud, every trace of their past, had disappeared overnight. At first, people thought it was a glitch, a temporary system failure, but as hours passed, panic began to set in. Without the ability to connect with loved ones or access information, the town fell into an eerie silence. People couldn't call each other, couldn't reach out for help, and couldn't even find familiar faces in the crowds. The phones and the connections they once offered were gone. Days passed, and the silence grew heavier. Those who tried to search for answers were met with only more confusion. People were disoriented, unsure of who they were anymore. Memories began to fade as though they were being erased. People struggled to recall simple facts about their own lives, and even the sound of their own voices felt strange. Then a strange phenomenon appeared. A glowing, cryptic symbol materialized in the sky. It pulsed with a strange rhythm, casting an unsettling light across the town. No one could explain it. It wasn't a natural event, yet it felt like it was calling them, guiding them towards something unknown. As people tried to leave the town, they found themselves stuck in an endless loop. The streets never seemed to change, and no matter where they went, they would always end up back at the same spot. The once familiar landscape now felt foreign and distorted. It was as if the town itself was alive, shifting to trap them inside. In the midst of the growing chaos, people began to find strange, handwritten notes. They were brief but cryptic, each one warning, "Forget the past or lose everything." The notes seemed to appear out of nowhere, on doorsteps, inside pockets, and even on the wind. Some ignored the warnings, thinking they were just the ramblings of frightened minds. But those who did vanished. At first, they were seen walking into the woods at the edge of town, but after a few hours, they were gone. No one ever heard from them again. It was as though they had never existed. The remaining townspeople grew desperate. The more they tried to remember who they were, the more their memories slipped through their fingers. It was like watching a familiar dream fade upon waking, as if the very essence of their identity was vanishing. The town began to feel like a graveyard, filled with people who couldn't remember their own names. In their search for answers, the survivors discovered something terrifying. Hidden beneath the town's library, they found old recordings of strange, shadowy figures speaking in an ancient, unintelligible language. These figures seemed strangely familiar, yet they were not human, at least not anymore. The truth began to unravel. The town had not just lost its connection to the outside world, it had lost its connection to time itself. The town was being consumed by a forgotten, ancient force, something that thrived on memories and controlled time itself. The survivors now had a choice: forget everything and